One of the biggest battles I fought, and it was personal but also political, was a battle I had to keep out of the House of Lords.
I'm sure you will agree with me that it is absurd for a member of Parliament to be obliged to give up his seat in the House of Commons, not because his constituents have deserted him, not because he has been turned out at an election, but because he has inherited a peerage which he doesn't want and which he desires to renounce.
Well, there was a lot of public sympathy for somebody who didn't want an honour. But of course the real issue was, could this bit of nonsense about a peerage prevent a constituency from picking who they wanted to represent them? They had a by-election in Bristol, and I decided to stand even though I was a disqualified candidate.
The undermentioned person has been duly elected to serve as member for the said constituency. Anthony Neil Wedgwood Benn.
I won with a bigger majority than I'd had when I was qualified. But when I arrived in the House of Commons, the Speaker wouldn't allow me to enter the chamber.
Mr. Benn, what do you think of this judgment?
Well, I think the interesting thing about it is this. The judges had to do an assessment of what British parliamentary democracy means in 1961, and they came to three conclusions. First of all, that the House of Lords is more important than the House of Commons. Secondly, that the democratic rights of electors to choose their own member of parliament must never be allowed to challenge the hereditary privileges of peers. And thirdly, that if electors do attempt to challenge it, as they did in Bristol, then they are to be punished by having a defeated candidate put in their place.
I don't believe in a hereditary member of Parliament. I mean, if I go to the dentist and he begins drilling my teeth and he says, I'm not a dentist myself, but my father was a very good dentist, I think I'd pick somebody else. I don't believe in hereditary appointments of any kind. The present House of Lords is an absolutely obsolete idea. You can't have people making laws in Parliament who haven't been elected. You can't get rid of a member of the House of Lords. You can't actually contribute to getting somebody in the Lords. It's all done by patronage. And if you don't like it, well, you just got to lump it. So I think the House of Lords should be abolished. In the end, legislation that allowed people to renounce went through, and I went along and renounced that afternoon. And then there was another by-election, and this time I was elected.
Where does it work? Where's the doing? Ladies and gentlemen, it isn't on. It isn't on. No. Anthony Neil Wedgwood Benn, 20,300. Edward Druitt Martell, 4,800.
You have defeated the Tory cabinet. You have defeated the House of Lords. You have defeated the courts. You have changed the constitution of this country by your own power. And that is a very great achievement. And I am very, very proud indeed to be sent back for the 6th time to represent you in the House of Commons. And they won't lock the door this time. Thank you very much indeed.
My constituents wouldn't give way. And that's the most important lesson I've ever learned in my life. If you want justice, go to the people. Don't go to the guys at the top. And if you carry on, you can win.